Hi, everybody. It is January 23rd, Tuesday. And I'm trying to make a schedule to try to do kind of a video maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks. As we go forward into 2024, I know it's probably going to get a lot more kind of crazy because a lot of this truth that we're basically discovering. Well, a lot of us we were sort of onto it for a while, but for the for the most part, a lot of people just aren't aware of it. I mean, to simplify kind of where we're at, and I know you guys understand what I'm talking about, is we're going through kind of a paradigm shift of an old reality, which was controlled, which means the people that were sort of in power. um, it's kind of a group of people that have been sort of taking care of each other, but not taking care of the average person out there. They've been controlling the world. That's why they've been involved in, especially politics, um, let alone, the judicial system and things like that, including, historians and stuff. They're trying to keep this narrative going as long as they can, just basically sort of keeping people in the dark, hiding not only technologies from us and things like that for us to, because if there's something that's going to benefit the average person, they're not going to let us know. However, I'm at the point. Well, I've been at a point like this for a while, but it's like uh, I'm trying to have more proof of what's going on, because our controllers are so good at hiding the truth from us, uh, and they also try to make it so that when we're getting close to stuff that's bizarre, or which is what's really going on. I gotta admit, a lot of the stuff that's really going on is very bizarre, and that's why it's also hard for the average person to take it on board, because we all want our lives to be more simplified and sort of more straightforward and more easily understood. That was kind of working for our controllers for thousands of years, because they've created this sort of simplified narrative. It's got a lot of holes in it. You know what I mean? They can't explain psychic stuff and whatever, and explain phenomena. But either way, they're just sort of saying, no, no, this is the way science has figured it out so far. But anyway, there's a lot more truth to the bizarre, I guess, is kind of where I'm coming from. But at the same time, unless we can prove it, unless unless there's more physical proof of what we're talking about, people are just gonna they're just gonna keep falling for the same old narrative. So I'm like I said, I'm kind of at a part of disclosure of I'm waiting for more proof to come out there, because as bizarre as I can believe that JFK Jr. is still around, and I can talk about Tartaria, the past worlds, whether it's Atlantis, Lemuria, like all this stuff. But unless we have physical proof, not only does it validate what we're talking about, but it's easier for us to get people up to speed. So that's kind of how I'm looking at 2024, and I'm just waiting for more truth to roll out, and to make it more obvious, because I think I speak for all of us. We want uh, more proof of what we're talking about. Like, take for instance, the WEF, whatever. It's coming to the point where it's pretty obvious. Their agenda is becoming pretty obvious that they're trying to control the world. And here's a group that's that's unelected, but somehow they they put themselves in a position of, like, we're the leaders of the world, and we're gonna tell you what to do, what you can't do and can't do, and things like this. So it's starting to basically unravel. It's basically being dismantled and it's coming apart. So that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for more of this sort of "I told you so." Like that's kind of the position we're really at. We want to be in the position of like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I was telling you about. We want it to be more obvious. So that's kind of how I am right now. So that's why I'm laid back and I'm sort of standing back, waiting for more proof of what we're talking about to be more obvious. So that's why I don't post a lot because I'm also the information I get is more pertinent to the bigger picture. So I you know it's really hard for me to explain some of the stuff that I've been told and how I understand how this matrix works. And to be honest, I don't like talking about it too much because it kind of confuses the issue. Because, if I could simplify it, what it is we kind of live in this physical reality that we've created. It's like a storyline reality world that we occupy in physical forms. Yeah, that's why this is crazy. I don't like going into it, but that's kind of where we're at. So we're like in these physical reality domes, sort of. It's like that, except for it's a physical universe, and we exist in them. And there's this ongoing story that we create. It's like a giant soap opera. It's ongoing. But if you can imagine, we're the ones that are writing the story. But in this case, the situation we're in is there's negative entities that have taken control, and they're steering the storyline. And it goes completely against what we want to do, and we're not learning what we came to learn. Anyway, it gets really, really complicated. So just to simplify things, how I understand them is we're getting help to get this storyline back on track, to get these physical realities to work properly. So we're fixing them. And how to fix it is to get rid of the control system, the controllers, like all these politicians that have been driving the war narrative. They're always making us so that we have some hypothetical reason to fight each other, for our world to be constantly warring with each other, and they're hiding not only technologies but resources that we could be using for peaceful uses and growth and we should all be getting along and sort of understanding more different lessons that we're being taught, sort of, because this is all about spiritual growth. We've created these physical worlds for us to have spiritual growth. That's ultimately what they were planned for. But it's been hijacked. This one in particular is way, way out of whack. I don't know that's one of the first things I sort of picked up. But even when I was a child, let alone a teenager, figuring, I was like, wow, this world is really messed up. It's very dysfunctional. Anyway, so we're getting out of that. So if I could give you a bit of a heads up, or some of the intel that I'm getting is, and I know I've said it before, is we're on track. There's whether you call it a Mandela effect or a time shift, that's a reality. I know it's going to be hard for us to wrap our heads around for a while. You'll understand it more going into the future as we go forward. But it's kind of like we do time shifts onto positive timelines, but it's a collective thing. And I've sort of come here to help stabilize it, correct it, too. And there's hundreds of thousands of us that have incarnated into physical bodies. I know this is going to get out there again. but to become part of this to help steer it to a positive timeline. Now, yeah, the thing is it's what falls under the category of like, well, how do you prove that? Well, we've dodged a lot of bullets. We've dodged a lot of like real. These are the timelines that we were on in the past. They were cataclysmic. They were. It was really terrible. That was how they were trying to end it. Our controllers know that's how you do that. If they can't control us, they basically try to wipe us out and do a reset. And we've dodged at least 6 that I know of. So, and the last one was it's almost like they're just doing fine tuning. The last one was around the beginning of this year. It was around the end of December. Somehow there was another shift. And again, it's like a positive timeline, and it's a positive Earth. So we're going forward, and it's working, and it's a good thing we're getting help because yeah, it's like we need guidance. And anyway, it gets kind of complicated, but I'm always trying to simplify it just so we can understand it better. So anyway, like I said, I'm not really doing a lot of updates because me, it's more like show me the money. I need more proof before I can go forward. So as we go forward, whether some benevolent beings in some spacecraft lands on the on the White House lawn or something, and say, listen, we're here to help you, whatever. And it was unless we get more proof. I'm just telling stories. You know what I mean? I can't back up what I'm saying to you guys. So I mean, I could just be ranting on. I could be just telling you a crazy story. I mean, it's definitely true from my perspective for sure. But I'm just saying, unless I can prove it, I don't expect anybody to believe what I'm saying until this comes to fruition and this comes true. So that's kind of where I'm at. So in other words, I don't want to be those people that are saying, oh, I think there's going to be something coming and it doesn't happen and whatever. I just want to be here when the truth really does start coming out, and I'll tell you my perspective on it to try to help guide what's, so give us more understanding from at least from my perspective. Anyway, if it helps, I'm hoping what I say to people kind of helps them out, wrap their heads around what's going on. Because let's be honest, there's something really crazy going on out there, and we're shifting from this old system of lies into what's really going on. And I gotta admit, the truth is really bizarre. So anyway, that's where we're at. So that's my update for January. I'll probably do another one in 2 or 3 weeks if something big happens. That's in a sense, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to wait for something to happen and then I'll discuss it. So that's kind of where I'll go more in the future here going forward. Okay, that's my update for January. Hope it helps somebody. Stay positive, because believe me, that's what's helping, is our being positive is manifesting a positive future. So okay, that's it for today.